Now let's talk about young voters. As I say, it's well known that, Labour people always want to manipulate the electorate or manipulate democracy. You know, a lot of people say, they're going to give them, they want to make all these migrant citizens, so citizens can vote, they'll vote Labour. They might do that, I don't know. But they also assume that young people, 16 and 17-year-olds, would vote Labour if given the vote, if enfranchised. And so plans have been progressing along that route. However, a new poll reveals that a third of 16-year-olds would back Nigel Farage's Reform Party at the next election. So it doesn't look as if Keir's sort of rather old-fashioned view that all young people are left-wing is true. Let's talk to a young reformer, if I could put it this way. 16-year-old Taylan. Welcome to the show, Taylan.
Thank you for having me on, Kevin.
So you support reform. Why do you support reform?
Well, as a young person, I can see that my country is going in the wrong direction. And if my country is going in the wrong direction, my future is going in the wrong direction. We have an incompetent government who's sending this country downhill. You were just talking about net zero. We're paying billions. Our country's being deindustrialized, whilst China and India get to do whatever they want. We have inflation now going up. Today we learned that inflation is now at a almost 1-year high. And this government is just running this country terribly, and I can see that our country is going in the wrong direction, and I want an alternative. I want change, and I think that Reform have the right policies and the right people so that we can make Britain great once again.
Make Britain great again, that's got a ring to it. And your friends in your age group, do you have many friends who are similarly politically inclined, tend to support Farage and Reform, a more right-wing outlook than Keir Starmer imagines?
Well, I know a lot of people in my age group, people younger than me, people older than me, but around my age, and they're also supporting Reform. I find that most of my friends seem to be a bit indifferent to politics, but I have met a lot of people through my interest in politics who seem to share similar views to me, because we can realise that this country is going in the wrong direction, and we need some change.
So you're 16, so you a couple of years' time, you no doubt go to university. I'm guessing it'd probably be Oxford or Cambridge talking to you. But after that, I mean, do you fear that, Labour's Britain or Keir Starmer's Britain, I get the picture that it is not offering an ocean of opportunity to young people, that the future looks bleak for an entire generation. And would that concur with your outlook?
Well, that's how I see it. I mean, I would end up paying tax. I would grow up and be a taxpayer, and more than half of the money that I earn is going to get taxed away and sent to foreign countries. Billions of pounds going abroad. And I just think that under Labour, our country, our economy, and businesses, a lot of young people want to be successful. They want to. We have a lot of young entrepreneurs, and they aren't staying in Britain. They're going off to Dubai, Australia, and these other countries, because the opportunity is just so much better. Why should they stay here, pay all this tax for a country that is becoming less safe, a country that is just getting worse and worse, when they can just go to another country and pay very small amounts of tax? And I think a lot of young people are seeing that. A lot of young people are leaving Britain now. And if we want to keep these very talented people, these entrepreneurs, we're going to need a change of government. We're going to need a very different kind of mindset to what we have now. And a Reform government, in my view, is they're offering the economic policies that I think that we do need in Britain.
And why, obviously you don't like Labour, you don't like left-leaning politics, or certainly not the left-leaning politics that are practised by Keir's dreadful crew, this gormless government. But what attracts you to Reform as opposed to the Conservatives?
Well, when I first got interested into politics, the Conservatives were in government. and and they didn't really appeal to me at all because they had failed. They're a failure.
That's one way of
And
putting it, yes.
that's simple. Um, their tax levels in this country under the Conservatives, the highest since the end of the war. Of course, we see Labour is not doing very well, but you have to remember a lot of this stuff really started under the Conservatives. When we think about immigration, 1.2 million people coming per year, that is really something that Boris Johnson started. That's a Conservative policy.
You're right,
And
exactly right, yeah.
yeah, and the failure to tackle illegal migration, that was under the Conservatives as well. So I just think that they failed, and they're part of the problem, in my view, and that's why many people are turning to reform, including me, because we want a genuine change. Under the Conservatives, things were not too good either. That's my view, at least.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, look, this Labour government are pretty dreadful. But in fairness to them, I hate to be fair to them, but they did inherit an absolute shambles, an absolute mess. 14 years of Tory government, and this country, was just in the toilet. And so Keir Starmer, we needed a government to pull us out. But Keir Starmer and his gang were not the people to do this. Let me ask you this, Taylan. Do you discuss politics with your teachers? And what do they think of your outlook? Because I discern that a lot of teachers tend to be rather left in their outlooks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had teachers before who, I mean, they prefer to be more impartial. But
really?
Yeah.
You must introduce me to them, because I haven't come across many impartial teachers, but go on.
Well, I know that there is quite a problem in other schools with left-wing teachers, but I have seen some students who have been a bit to the left. We had some left-wing students who did presentations that I didn't really like, and this was a couple of years ago now, but my
sorry to interrupt. I've just got to quickly ask you, Taylor, because I've got to go, but what do you want to do when you leave university? Politics?
I might want to be a pilot. I'm quite interested in aviation.
A pilot. All right, well, go into politics. You're a fine young man. Great to talk to you. Thank you very much. Taylan there, 16-year-old reformer. Next up, we're going to talk about Kemi Badenoch. Is she on her last legs? That next.